Hello, hi Pep. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You can. Excellent. Good to see you. Going into this weekend, if all goes to plan for you, you could end the weekend as champions. Assuming you do your job, will you be watching on Sunday to see if Liverpool can do you a favour against Manchester United? Do you have any plans for the weekend?
Let me travel to London this afternoon. I try tomorrow, wake up good and try to win the game. The rest we cannot control it. So it's a tough job to do. Always Crystal Palace was so difficult for us. Since the always I don't remember an easy game when we play against them, and it's only we can do.
This weekend sees the social media boycotts that all the clubs are involved in as well. Have you encouraged your players to be part of it? And as a manager, is talking about things like social media to your players and managing perhaps people who have been upset by social media a skill set that you've had to develop?
No, I'm not a person to tell the players in their private lives, on their own lives. They have to decide for themselves what they have to do. Always I said, respect the club we are, respect the others, like a normal position in our lives. But what they want to do, they want to do. But of course, the club, I speak for myself, of course, going to reflect, maybe it's a drop of water in the ocean, but at the same time, it's a good initiative, and because every is related to education, and we're going to follow these next days.
Thank you, Roger. Next we go to Ian Abrahams.
Hi Pep, how are you?
Good.
If you do win the title this weekend, how does it compare with the others you won at City? I mean, you went on that phenomenal run, which has basically taken you to the title. Can you compare with all the others you won at City?
Let me try to win Crystal Palace. Don't ask me what I'm going to feel something when I still didn't feel it. I didn't experience because it didn't happen. So I'm sorry. I know you are curious to anticipate it, but the reality, yesterday we saw another example in which contender we are playing. So United is an extraordinary team. When arrived in the last 2 months in the best form in all season, and we need 5 points. So to be champion, and tomorrow we have the incredible opportunity to make this a step. Once we won that game, we're going to think what happened, and when it already happened, just in case it happened, Ian, you can ask me whatever you want, especially my feelings, and I will answer you. But now I cannot explain about the feelings in the future because I didn't experience it. And all I can do now is recover as well as possible the intense and physicality, mentally game we play in Paris. It's our 6th game in a row away. So it's a lot of streets, a lot of troubles, and we are tired in many things, in many aspects. And that's why it's travel to there. Even tomorrow we play at 12:30. We will have an extra time to recover after the Paris game. So, and focus in what you have to do to make and decisive and important victory to be closer than ever to be champion in the Premier League. One competition that we played 10 months, 11 months, day by day. So this is the only I'm concerned. I'm sorry to don't answer your questions because I know it's normal, but the reality is it's just one. It's Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson team. Like I said before, every time we face them, especially at home, but every time we face them, we had a lot of problems to win the game.
Next we go to Hugh Ferris.
Hi, Pep. The away form you mentioned, because you have had a lot of away games in a row recently, but your away form in the Premier League is better than your home form. You have potentially the chance to equal the record of away wins tomorrow. Why? Can you put your finger on particularly why you've done so well away from home this season? I know you have before.
I don't know. I don't have the answers. Maybe we miss our fans. So I don't know. It's like we had better results against United away than United at home these years. So the truth I cannot answer you. So maybe No, because now you play at home. At home is not big advantage or disadvantage because we play against fans, so it's quite similar. So when you play in Paris, it's not a big difference when we're going to play next Tuesday because we don't have fans. They didn't have fans. So I don't have an explanation. The point is, in general, what we have shown this season, home away was so good in terms of consistency. See, we drop points at home, but not much. And that the reality is that 5 games left, we are 10 points in front, and that's why it's the only I'm concerned. To win the 5 points, we need to be champion.
And it seems to me as well that the conversation that you had with your players on Wednesday night at half-time is quite similar to the conversation you had back in December, which was asking them to rediscover their identity, be themselves. Is that the theme of your season? Is that the reason why you've been successful this season, because of those 2 kind of key moments, if you like, with the same theme?
The success is the season so far is the humanity, the quality of the players. This is the first. The second is don't think much. What we have in front of our eyes is the next game, and we did it. And of course, not myself. I think all the managers, they wanna ask to the players, or try to the players to express themselves, who they are as a team, and every team has its own identity to put it there. And of course, in important games like decisive games, like you don't have second chance, because now tomorrow Crystal Palace is an important game, but we have more 4 games. When you play in knockout games like Chelsea, like Tottenham, or like now Paris, to put an example, the last weeks, 10 days, there's no hard chance. And the approach is try to reach our level in these stages. That will be another example next Tuesday. So, and of course that we have to try to do it. But especially it was for the humanity, the quality, the players that they have. Without that, you can ask or demand or suggest something. If they don't have it, we don't have it.
I don't have any hands raised, so we'll be going to the embargo after this question from Simon, unless there's any others before then. Simon Stone.
Hiya, Pep. At some point, we expect you to win this title, and this would be an almost an arduous campaign that you've won. When you won it the first time, you were a long way clear. When you won it the second time, you won everything, and you were just a short distance in front of Liverpool. How do you rate this team? We talk about eras in football. Is this Manchester City era? How would you rate that?
In our period together, this 5 seasons together is the same like the first Premier League we won. We are almost the same guys. We changed players, but the same guy, the same identity. About the era, like you said, like it took over, involve more people. That means involve, first of all, Sheikh Mansour and Khaldoon took over the club, and that is make development in terms of players, but the facilities in terms of the profession, be professional in all departments about the club. I feel it. I came from Barcelona and Bayern Munich, so I know what I'm talking about. So it's not a club that you have just incredible players. So there is more than that. So, and this is incredible. That's why. And start from, to start to build for Mark Hughes, for example, and after, of course, have success with Roberto Mancini and Manuel and the others, and many sport directors, many CEOs, everything involved in. That's true. This area, or this decade, I don't know how many years since took over the club, it was a success area for this club, for this organization. So it's not belong just for the people right now is here. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Thank you, Simon. Dominic Farrell.
Hi, Pep. I think back in your first season here, you said you'd like a team of 11 midfielders, which was maybe a bit of a joke. But look at the team this year when you have Gundogan's top scorer, you play with the false nines, Zinchenko at fullback. There's a lot of these midfield players that you like so much in the team. Is it pretty special for you to be with your ideas on football, to be having success with guys like this?
Yeah, I have to admit something. I like the players that have the ability to keep the ball, to don't lose the ball. It's one of the most principal things I am looking for the teams and for the players. Yeah. If I demand I have the ball, is the best way to defend, and we don't have to lose that ball. And the players have to keep the ball in difficult circumstances. Yeah, and all my career, I play with a lot of midfield players. I don't know why, but I had that feeling. I had the feeling that you can play better with this kind. But at the same point, we need everyone. So Gabriel was important, so important in these years, and especially this season. I'm not going to talk how important Kun has been and was in our period when we were together, especially in the past, of course. But here, unfortunately, was injured most of the time in the last year. But now he's fit again. So we need everyone, everyone. Raheem again. So all the wing, everyone is important. But I have to admit, yeah, the players knows it. I like when the players just keep the ball, and after we'll see we can produce with that. And yeah, but happened in Barcelona and Bayern Munich here as well.
Because you've said there's
Go on, you can carry on.
yeah, you said there's not been a lot of time for coaching between the games. It's just play and not a lot of time for coaching. Does the success this season, is it kind of to do with the last 5 years that you've been together such a long time? Like if, for example, if you had been your first year in the job this year, would it not have been possible to achieve what you've done?
Absolutely. By the first season, we had not like so intense like that season, but it was intense too. So, but that's for sure. You're right. So in the fifth season, but especially, I said many times, and I think all the managers that play in the top clubs, like they play every 3 days, game. We don't have training. I don't feel. I will see. Of course, I'm a manager, but I don't feel like on the pitch we can develop because we don't have time. That's for sure. That's why I said many times. The only reason is the quality of the players that we have, that we can understand what we're looking for, and change some ideas immediately because they are intelligent and they are good. So there is no more secrets that have success. There is no more in one season you can be success. 1 year you win something important. But to be consistent through the years, there is just one secret: is have quality players. That's all. Don't sell product about any other aspects on that. The quality of the players. And when you have a team like his, like we have to try to buy as good players as possible, you can sustain that in a longer time.
Thank you, Dom. Last question for the embargo, Sam Lee.
Hi, Pep. You say quite often after games, you maybe change something with the pressing after 25, 30 minutes. I know that's what you said in midweek. It's quite a specific question, but in those situations, how do you get that message across to the team? Is there one player in particular you call across and he relays it to everybody else? Or does everybody, if Kyle Walker's closest, can you tell him, or do you get Gundogan? How does it work?
Yeah, before the game, there is something word you can say, because you think maybe not going to be well, because sometimes it depends on the opponent. The opponent can change the setup. Many things can happen in the first 50, 20 minutes. And before the game, you can anticipate it. If not, you have players like there are sometimes a goal or a corner or throw-ins that you have time and you can communicate one or two and say, come back what we have done, or come back in different way. And like we are in the fifth season, and especially in this season that we practice many things during a lot of times, they know immediately exactly what they have to do.
Okay, thank you.
So
guys.
the other night, for example, was it the case that maybe Neymar was doing something differently than you expected? Did you plan for one thing and PSG did something else? Or
No, it happened when we thought.